CMUEagles.com with Central Methodist head women's basketball coach James Arnold as the Eagles prepare to travel to Peru State for a 2 p.m. tip-off Central Time on Saturday. Coach, this will be the longest road trip within conference play for your team this season. What kind of grind does that have on your team, and how do you kind of coach them through it?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a challenge. We're going to the great state of Nebraska, the good life up north, and it's a long trip. And there's some challenges logistically with food with Peru. Great little town, wonderful facility, wonderful people, but there are challenges with how to feed and eat in that town with the available restaurants. So that takes some planning and takes some implementing of how we're going to get things done. We have to leave so early. Are we eating breakfast on the road? Are we going to get up extra early and have a shoot around? All those things. The biggest thing is we have to approach this like a business trip. We still want to continue to move up the standings. This is a great opportunity for us to do so. Peru is very dangerous, and the fact that we've got to make the trip to their place where they're even better is going to be extremely challenging.
This team has struggled in league play this year, but their one win is against the current conference leader when they erased a double-digit deficit to beat Mid-America Nazarene. What does that say about their ability to be dangerous at home?
They play very hard. They play very hard, and you know, the last couple years they've been just on the verge of winning a lot more of those games. And you know, they last year they won some games, got into the playoffs, hacked playoffs. They got all those kids back. They played really well at times against their game. The last game against Baker, it was a close game at halftime, and then a little bit of a stretch got away from them. Up at their place, the way they can shoot the basketball from the perimeter, they're a very guard-heavy team in the sense that they've got a couple kids, the Hess kid, the Stewart kid, that can really shoot the basketball. They added Riley Bowser, who I recruited at Highland before I left at semester, a D2 transfer. That's helped them quite a bit, both with shooting and with just their guard play. And then they've got a couple kids inside that can be a factor. The Peterson kid that brings some athleticism inside. So they've got the personnel to be very, very dangerous, like I said, especially after making the trip up there.
A couple of weeks ago, your team won decisively over Evangel before going to Mid-America Nazarene and playing well early, but struggling down the stretch. Similar situation this week. You come off a 39-point win against Graceland on Thursday night at home. Now you have to make a road trip. What do you say to your team, or what do you want them to do differently so that you don't have the same result as last time?
Yeah, you know, I made the statement before that I told the ladies after our win against Graceland, I'm like, we're excited. This is wonderful. We've seen this before. We've beaten teams decisively, and we've played really well before, but what do we do after that? Now, I think the Mid-America trip says as much about Mid-America as it does against us. We did play pretty well early. We did let that game get away from us for about 4 minutes, 5 minutes, to end up losing by 13. But I think, you know, that says, like I said, that says as much about how good Mid-America is as opposed to how poorly maybe we played. But your point is well taken that the league is tough. And when you go from a quick one-day turnaround and then you're adding in the longest trip of the year, it can be extremely challenging. But when you're on a business trip and you're trying to figure out a way to move up the standings, you're trying to figure out a way to finish the first time through conference play at 4 and 5, which is where we need to be to make a move and make a run at this thing, then there's no excuses and there's no way to look at it otherwise. We've got to have some toughness. We've got to be mentally and physically focused going up to Peru.
Finally, on a more individual note, Morgan Vetter made 8 threes in Thursday's win against Graceland, now moving her to 50, shy of breaking April Smith's school career record. Just kind of how happy are you for her on an individual level, even though I'm sure she and you are more focused on team goals?
Yeah, no question. But I'm a big believer that individually, as people do things, they should be recognized for them. And, you know, Morgan just recently scored her 1,000th career point, counting junior college here. She's got an outside chance at scoring 1,000 points just in the 2 years here. She's put up incredible numbers. Obviously, the 8 threes last night were a big help. But I think Morgan will tell you herself that the inside play last night opened that up for her. Having McDowell on the perimeter opens that up for her even more so. I think she's got a great chance at the record. I think she's going to have to play really well. And but I think a lot of it's going to come from how much her teammates draw attention away from her this year, which we didn't necessarily always have last year. Morgan, one of the most proud of is that she's defending better. Last night she rebounded better. She's finding a way to get to the free throw line more this year. And I think the more she does those things, the more the three-point shots will be there, and gives her a great chance individually to take care of business there.